This week on Dateline Abuja, we give an update on the FCT Command and Control Center set to tackle insecurity in Abuja, especially with the rise in kidnappings earlier in the year. How have they fared since then, and what are their challenges in keeping Abuja safe, especially with kidnappings happening in neighboring states like Kaduna right now? How do we ensure these criminals don't make their way here? Meanwhile, in our focus on the FCT, the Apo resettlement area is in focus as we remind the FCT administration of the still uncompleted Apo-Karshi Road. And yes, we have an update on the major stories from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Kayla Megwa. Let's begin, as we do every week, with a rundown of major stories from Nigeria's presidency.
As Christian faithfuls commemorate Easter, President Bola Tinubu has sent out his warm greetings to Christians in Nigeria and around the world and wished them a happy Easter. In a statement signed by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, President Tinubu observed that the sacrifice of Jesus Christ for humanity is an emphatic lesson for leaders and all Nigerians to yield to selflessness and compassion and be steadfast in the pursuit of a united, peaceful, and prosperous nation. Also, President Bola Tinubu has encouraged Nigerians to love and care for the country and not condemn her. Speaking during the Ramadan dinner with religious and traditional leaders from across the country, the president reminded those gathered that no nation is without its challenges, saying with resilience, his administration will turn things around for the better.
No terrorist can defeat our spirit. No matter how bad they target the soft targets. Going to the backyard of a school in Kuriga and evacuating some children and giving the wrong figures, it doesn't defeat us. It doesn't. We have together, bond together, and deal with them. The love of the nation is in your hand. The prayer is in your mind. Pray for our country. Educate our children. All the members of our church and mosque, the sermon we give to them is important. We don't condemn your own nation. Don't curse Nigeria. It's a beautiful land of prosperity.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has condemned the reprehensible acts perpetrated by kidnappers across the country, declaring that individuals involved in the despicable crimes must be treated as terrorists. The president made the declaration at the Ramadan dinner with serving and retired judicial officers led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola. Reiterating the government's resolve to defeat banditry, the president said those who resort to kidnapping children are cowards incapable of confronting the might of the Nigerian armed forces.
We are working hard. Yes, the bandits, just please uphold our resolve when we say kidnappers are terrorists and don't rule against us. That's the way we practice them. That is the way we must treat them. And that is a fact that we are facing currently, unless we take very strong action against these people. They become cowardly, they have been degraded, they look for soft targets, they go to backyard of local schools, kidnap children and create disaffection. We must treat them equally as terrorists in order to really get rid of them. And I promise you, we're going to get rid of them.
In another story, President Bola Tinubu has vowed to fish out the perpetrators of the Okwama military massacre, which occurred on the 14th of March 2024 at the Okwama community of Ugeli South local government area of Delta State. The president, who was a special guest of honor at the burial ceremony of the 17 officers and men of the Nigerian army, who were said to have gone to the community on a peace mission, applauded the military for their restraint.
I commiserate with the families of our fallen heroes and the entire armed forces. I share in their pain and grief, the grief you carry today. It is my prayer that God will comfort all who are bereaved as a result of this tragedy. I want to make it clear once more that those who committed this heinous crime will not go unpunished. We find them, and our departed heroes will get justice.
President Bola Tinubu has praised the release of the abducted Kuriga school children in Kaduna State and pupils of the Sangaya school in Sokoto State. According to Ajuri Ngalale, the president's special advisor on media and publicity, this development underscores the significance of collaboration between the federal government and states, particularly regarding security matters. The federal government insists that no ransom was paid for the abducted Kuriga students in Kaduna State. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, who briefed State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting, said the freedom of the victims was secured through the concerted efforts of security agencies in the country.
President Bola Tinubu is determined to end this cycle of payment of ransom to kidnappers. Government believes that this continues to encourage these kidnappers, these criminal elements to perpetrate this act within the Nigerian nation. And it is the official position of government that, and I announced here last week, that ransom will not be tolerated, ransom will not be encouraged, ransom will not be paid by government to rescue this. And what that means, of course, is that there's now a new strategy put in place. You've asked whether what strategy that is being put in place. The security agencies, of course, will not reveal to you their modus operandi, but suffice to say that the security agencies are also upping their game, evolving new strategies of getting at these criminal elements and ensuring that our children or anybody who is kidnapped, for that matter, is taken out in safety.
The Federal Executive Council approved the setting up of a renewed Hope Infrastructural Fund to help address the infrastructural deficit in the country. This was disclosed to State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting in the State House.
They've approved the establishment of Renew Hope Infrastructure Fund as the catalyst to actually drive our infrastructure agenda. So this innovative fund consolidates existing resources to drive economic growth and connectivity across sectors like transport, agriculture, aviation, and education, and other social.
In what it describes as a strategic move to strengthen the nation's economic governance framework and ensure robust and coordinated economic planning and implementation, the presidency has announced the establishment of the Presidential Economic Coordination Council, PECC, and the creation of the Economic Management Team Emergency Task Force, the EET. The statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Ajuri Ngalale, outlined the membership of the PECC.
Welcome back. Now let's talk infrastructure and insecurity. We saw a move by the FCT Police Command to clear out bush paths and hideouts used by kidnappers at the Apo resettlement area. While we were at it, we took the time to look up the Apokarshi Road that is still not motorable and provides a viable route for criminal elements due to the lack of infrastructure in the area. The residents are asking the FCT administration for help. Please watch this. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, in collaboration with the FCT Police Command, have embarked on the clearing of escape routes used by kidnappers in the nation's capital. Speaking at one of the sites at the Apo resettlement area of Abuja, The Secretary, Command and Control Center of the FCTA, Mr. Peter Olumuji, says the trees being cleared here provide cover for kidnappers who escape into Nasarawa State.
One of the cardinal objectives of the Honorable Minister FCT, Bryson Yesun Wike, is to prioritize the security and safety of every resident and also to secure their property. We've had incidences of kidnapping that have taken place here, and this particular place you see us felling the trees are the routes where the kidnappers normally take their victim through. And you know, the FCT Police Command in recent time have recorded a lot of successes by rescuing most of these kidnapped victims. And from what they've gathered so far, they realize that this particular route, if it's not taken care of, can still be a safe haven and escape route for the kidnappers. And that is why the FCT Police Command, like you've seen, they've deployed massively here in conjunction with the FCT administration to ensuring that these trees, which serve as safe haven for these kidnappers whenever they kidnap their victim, is removed. There will be better visibility of whatever is happening within the forest area here. And for you to also know that this particular route, when they kidnap their victim, it leads them to Wassa and also Karishi, and from there they can link into Nasarawa State. So you know that it's a very critical route that must be blocked, must be unplugged, and must be cleared.
As the FCT Police Command does its best to fight kidnappings in the nation's capital, there are other dimensions to the issues. And one of those dimensions is the lack of infrastructure in many of these areas, especially the roads. This Apple Karshi Road, for instance, was awarded in 2011, expected to provide an alternative route from the gridlock normally experienced at the Maraba-Nyanya Road. This 12-kilometer road is the commute for farmers moving their produce from communities like Wase, Daya, Takushara, Kurudu, Oruzo, Brom, and Karshi to the city center. Its present state not only makes this business impossible, but provides a viable route for kidnappers to patronize. It is that same dusty, untarred road that is seen here at the Apple resettlement. The residents call for help from the FCT administration.
We want to sincerely appeal that the FCT minister should come to our rescue based on this road and security. We've been having a lot of challenges. This road was repaired for some time. At a point, they got to a place, you can even see the gutters that were already raised. Everywhere was done. We're so hopeful that they will not come and pour quota and make the road habitable for us. But suddenly it was abandoned. And you know, we have little children around. Going to school is so difficult. And it's really constituting security challenge because we have a lot of problems here. We are begging the FCT minister to please, for the sake of God and the sake of these children we bring up here, to come and rescue us, to help us and see what can be done about this road.
Clearing these bush paths used by kidnappers in the area is a welcome development for the residents.
About a week ago, we have an encounter here. That came and the intruders came and picked one of our residents, and that's why the trees have been cut. The CP visited here with his team, the anti-kidnapper team, and a host of other government, and the chairman of AMAC also visited here. So we had a meeting with them. They assured us that they're going to see if they can find a permanent solution from the intruders. Normally they come from behind the hills. So we are glad that this is being done today.
One after the other, trees are taken down to remove anything that might serve as a cover for criminal elements in the area. Not an ultimate solution to the insecurity in the area, but a step in the right direction, according to the residents, as they appeal to the FCT minister to help with infrastructure in Apo resettlement that houses hundreds of thousands of Abuja's residents. My guest on the program is the Secretary, FCTA Command and Control Center, Dr. Peter Olumuji. While we take a look at the FCT Minister's recent activities aimed at boosting security and improving infrastructure, we take another look at the Command and Control Center since inception and what progress they've made security-wise since inception. Dr. Peter Olumuji, welcome to Dateline Abuja again.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
There have been kidnappings in neighboring states recently, like Kaduna. And usually, FCT residents get scared when we hear stories like that because over the years, it's just been, you know, it's been the tradition, so to speak. That immediately we hear that, we're next.
Okay.
What's been done by the center to ensure that we're not next this time?
Yes, like I did mention of the FCT Police Command, you know, had to up their game in terms of continuous raids of these mountainous areas at the border community, because you know FCT is bordered with some states, Kogi, Niger, Kaduna, Nasarawa, and all these places are flashpoints to kidnap incidents. And you know, so what the security agencies did, it was to continuously raid this mountainous area. And the good news is that even the Commissioner of Police always lead these raids by himself, both in the daytime and the nighttime. And coming back into the city center also, there's this continuous raid of shanties and illegal structures that this criminal element always hibernate in, you know, and dislodging them through these processes have really helped FCT to be able to overcome these incessant challenges of kidnapping that we witnessed in time past.
So you're reassuring residents, should they be reassured by the center that we're not going to see a repeat of December and January? Because it started just like this. Oh, there was there was killings, there was kidnapping in Plateau, and then before we know it, Abuja was next. Are you saying this is not going to happen this time?
The resident of FCT can even attest that now they have better security and safety around
Well,
them.
not now. I'm talking about, you know, with everything that just happened.
No.
They shouldn't be scared?
No, they shouldn't be scared.
Everything is being done?
Everything is being, mechanisms have been put in place to check the border communities and also the city center so that there will not be a reoccurrence.
Actually, that brings me to what the issue at the time, when we had this conversation back then, was the fact that our border communities seemed really porous. And I remember then, one of the things that we said was, if I was a terrorist, I'm not going to follow the express because we see checkpoints on the highways.
Yes.
But it's most likely that these people were going to follow bush paths and mountains and you know, those sort of byways. And, you know, we talked about securing those areas. Since the command center was created, are those places secure now?
Perfectly secured. Because what the security agency had to do is to ensure that they have camps in most of these border communities, you know, just to sustain building the confidence of the residents of FCT. And you should also know that during the period under review, the IG of police also launched Operation SIS. No, that's the IG of police launched Operation SIS, Special Intervention Squad.
Yes,
then the Commissioner of Police
for
himself,
for
the FCT, launched Operation Velvet.
Yes.
You know, all these are to ensuring that the border communities are well secure. You know, when you talk about this border community, one thing most people do not know is that they are mountainous areas, they are bushy parts, that vehicles cannot fly.
Yes.
So you just have to go in there on foot. You know, the security agency have to do that because your vehicles can't just go in there. And the good news is that the use of technology has also played a cardinal role. You know, use of drone, you know, in ensuring that they're able to scan these border communities, these mountainous areas, and reducing the fatality in the part of the security agencies now. So the use of technology too has really played a cardinal role. You know, we know the FCT minister got approval from Mr. President that everything needed will be provided for the security agencies, and he kept to his word, and that has really helped in securing the border communities.
So let's talk about Apo resettlement, which is the last place I saw you.
Okay.
You and the FCT Police Command and the FCTA, so it's Federal Capital Territory Authority, together you decided to clear bush parts. For many people who don't understand a lot about security, I'm sure you must have gotten some backlash from it. Are you giving them a clearer road to follow? You know, the cover that they provided was something that you alluded to when you were interviewed. They provide cover for them.
That's
so
true.
We need to destroy the place. Some people who are environmentalists had issues with it. You're destroying trees.
Okay.
Why don't you put more security there instead of destroying trees? You know, there was some backlash at the time. How have you handled that? And give us your justification as to why this was an important thing to do, considering the fact that Apo resettlement is near that Apo-Karshi Road.
That's true.
And many people have been complaining about the Apo-Karshi Road, not completed yet, being a very viable route for criminals, not just kidnappers, all kinds of criminals follow there because there's no infrastructure in the place. So talk to us a bit about that situation.
Yes, let me first of all start with the Apo-Karshi Road. The FCT minister has assured the residents within that axis that that road will be completed. You know, he's called Mr. Project, and you can see a lot of developmental road construction within the city center and also the area council. Then coming back to the Apo resettlement clearance that we did, you know, naturally when you talk about climate change, you know, removing of trees and the rest are part of what affects the ozone layer, you know. But again, the residents of that community, Apo resettlement community, had incidences of kidnapping. And when the police team, the anti-kidnap team of the police and the intelligence team went into that particular area, they realized that those trees within closer to the residential areas gave good cover for those kidnappers to be able to move with their victim. And the bad thing is that as they go through that route up to the mountainside, it leads to Wasa, leads to Orozo. And from there, they can go into Nasarawa State, you know, with their victim. So with this credible intelligence on that, the escape route path, it was analyzed, you know, at strategic level, and it was decided that those trees closer to the residential area, not the forest entirely, those trees closer to the residential area, we just have to give way. And why are they giving way? So that there will be clearer visibility to monitor whatever is happening some meters away from the residential.
Visibility for who?
For the security agencies. And you should also know that the residents within that axis also have their CCTV camera installed in their various houses, which the FCT also encourages that every residential building should have CCTV camera installed. This aids in the investigation. There are hotlines that were, you know, tabled out. The police control room hotline. We have the FCT call center hotline too that was railed out. And believe you me, the residents of FCT now share information more with the security agencies than before. You have the emergencies number railed out already, that they should always make sure they save those emergency number. And when they suspect anything, take note of that word suspect, not even waiting for it to happen. When you suspect something is not right, call those numbers and there'll be a quick response.
I want to thank you very, very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
On Dateline Abuja, Dr. Olumuji, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Remember to give us updates on the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. We also have on your screens the command center numbers in case of an emergency. And if you see something, say something. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.